Hi, Grace. It is Tuesday.
Hi, Karen. It's time for the rain circle.
Uh, let's talk about that. The rain circle. By design, looking at our audience from lady leaders and what we've created that tribe of over 12,000 people. And now we realize there's a huge gap of women that don't know where to start, what's their community, or how to build businesses. So here we are. This is like episode 4. Hopefully, have a long way to go. And what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to talk about something really important that I didn't even realize was very important until very recently, and that's trademarks and how we use trademarks to protect really our intellectual property. I think it's a really important conversation. And for a lot of us, we were never, exposed to how to trademark, why to trademark, and all that good stuff. So hopefully people learn from our mistakes and are able to protect their brand.
That's right. So let's talk about intellectual property, right? There are 3 major types of intellectual property. And what we don't hear, we hear, oh, well, I'm going to protect my IP. I mean, I've learned from my mistakes and I'll share, and we've learned from other people too that have helped us before us. It's right, lift as you rise. So other people have helped me. But there's 3 types of intellectual property, and they are an asset, ladies. Like your ideas are an asset. Trademarks, that's like a brand identifier. So think of any big brand or the realtor logo, right? That's a trademark. It's a name, it's a logo, a design, or a tagline. Then we have copyrights. That's like the creative work. So if you order photography, right, and oftentimes you have to do a copyright release from the photographer,
Correct.
right? And then the last one is patents. And patents are inventions, ideas, processes. My mother-in-law actually patented a horse feeding bucket. It's a very technical process, and all of them feel overwhelming. I mean, Grace, if people don't know this, you were a technical writer for
Correct.
who?
For the United States Navy. I used to teach,
Yeah,
how to load nuclear and conventional weapons on aircraft.
of course. I mean, of course, obviously that's what you did.
Obviously.
So you are good at the details, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. I, however, am not. But I have trademarked something before, and we have several things trademarked. And I shared a story about how it actually brought me another opportunity because I did protect something that I had created. So let's start with the obvious, which is trademarking, which is our logo, our brand identifier, or a tagline or a phrase, because realtors, mostly in different cities, could use the same tagline in different cities. But if you have it trademarked, they can't, even in another city.
Yes, it's a federal protection. So if you've got a slogan or your team name or something that's really unique about you and your situation, you really need to take the extra steps to trademark it. We learned from, a mistake. GoDaddy buying the domain name doesn't necessarily give you any kind of protection at all. It's actually taking the next step to go through the patent office, to do the little bit of legwork that you need to do, and to be able to register that for yourself. And ladies, it's not scary. I mean, I was able to do one on my own. There's attorneys that help, and it's not that expensive.
I use an online service. And so I'm going to upload my trademark because this really fancy certificate came. It's pretty cool. I use a company called the Trademark Company, but you have a really, really good attorney who also continues to protect your trademarks.
Correct, correct. And I'm hoping that, in our longer webinar that she comes on and talks to us about what it is she does and how she protected really something that was important to me that I had already started the trademark process, but she came in and solidified it, strengthened it, and made sure that it was mine. Look at
So
that.
Grace, this is the fancy certificate I was talking about. So this is something I trademarked, and it's called the Messy Empire. I had a podcast name it. It is who I am, right? I built a lot of these companies with my partners, and I'm messy, but I like to have a good time. I don't take myself too seriously, but don't mess with my business. So this is what I got after I submitted the initial paperwork. So if we can walk through what someone might do first is they go search on the uspto.gov site.
Correct. You have to search for the name first. It's pretty easy. You stick in the information on the website that is provided, and they do a search for you. It's not, and what I've learned is that just because it doesn't come up exactly like that, it may be some variations that are very similar that you kind of have to watch out for. But let's just say that you had something really easy that you could trademark, something that no one has used, then you can tell immediately if that wording, that phrase, that logo, I mean, not even the logo, as in,
Yeah.
an actual logo, but actually the wording of your logo is not there.
That's right. And if you have a domain name, that's right. You can have a domain name on something that's uh could be trademarked and you might get a letter. So I, as an example, my one of my offices does this huge event for the Grinch every year. Like they had Santa down the road, we did the Grinch. It turned out thousands of people come. Well, I got a letter from Dr. Seuss Enterprises that we're not allowed to use the Grinch, which I thought, well, gosh, we're big enough. We're making a splash because I like to create a little problem, and I also respect it. So we have renamed it and just called it like Christmas characters, right? But I did get a letter, and I have also sent the letters too. It's not personal; it's business. And you mentioned something as well as the reason you might want to trademark something is because one, you never know where it's going to go. You could license it and earn residual income. Ladies, are you listening? Residual income off your licensing, right? Like franchise licensing. You're branding the name, or you could sell the trademark to someone as well.
Yes, correct. Like I have a trademark that we're getting ready to do a series of classes on that we're going to license to other agents that are military focused that want to use that particular name. So I think it's very important that we take that step and say this is what we're going to trademark, this is what we're going to protect. And if Karen can pull up the trademark office website, it's not hard. It really isn't.
No, and I think that's where you and I, when I'm looking to start any business. So we talked about LLCs and corporations on the last episode, and that we're building a foundation for people to take the right actions. Is when you have an idea, before you buy a domain name, one of the first things you do want to check is looking at the trademark and searching to see. So let me see if I can share my screen. Here is that's my case viewer. I don't want that. So I'm going to go and share my entire screen, which might be a complete mess, but you'll understand. So this is the US PTO website. This is where you go. I was on it to look for mine. So this is the trademark office right here. I think did it just disappear? Is it
No,
on?
there it
Okay.
is. Mhm.
Yep. So here is a trademark search, and you just start searching. Like you said, it's not anything specific necessarily, but let me go to the main page and you can start searching.
See, you can
So,
go, yeah, see where it says you can search? Go ahead and do like any kind of search. Yeah.
yep. And so if you want to search, so if I wanted to search the Messy Empire, which is the one I just showed as an example, it's going to show other people might have had it trademarked. They might have it abandoned, right? There's all these different, um, uh,
Variations.
yeah, very. So if it's dead, it's dead. If it's canceled, things like that. But I can see there's a brand right there. But a lot of these are Inland Empire Film Commission, but all these results. So you can get specific, but I would start very generic and then go specific, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I saw a good one, Dare to Dream.
I know, I just saw that too. So here's mine showing right here. It's live and registered. Now you mentioned something about the GoDaddy and the domains of or whoever your website hosting is. It will ask for some history of how long have you been using it. So it is always good to have. How
Yes.
long have you been using it and other facts around it.
And it asks
So
you, like, how long have you been using it? What have you been using it for? Have you sold
mhm.
any merchandise? Have you sold, I mean, anything around it or whatever use you have? So if you started like something, let's just say your real estate brand is, um, Savannah's greatest real estate team or something, and you started using it 5 years ago. Make sure that you can document that you can either go on Facebook when you started your Facebook business page, when you paid for an ad somewhere. I mean, make sure that you have all of that, because once, let's just say that you have this fabulous thing and you get approved, which is, it's a time consuming process. After you put it in, it takes anywhere from 6 to 7 months. I
Well, we
think,
have a government shutdown. I mean, who knows now how long it would take, but
yeah.
just because it's sitting in limbo doesn't mean it's not working through the system.
Correct. And the good thing about the trademark, that website, is you can actually track it. Has anybody looked at it? Has the attorney, the government attorney, looked at it? Is there anything that you need to do to strengthen it? All of that good stuff is in there. It's a pretty easy kind of website to use. So I would say, go ahead and look at it. Make sure that everything is going the way you want it to. Um, and keep track of what you've done, because once it gets approved, preliminarily approved, someone has 30 days to come in and dispute it. Doesn't mean that you won't win it or you don't have first position in it, but even if it's impending and they've said, oh, no one's ever used this is yours, someone can still come in within 30 days and oppose you. So that's why it's important to track exactly where you've used it, when you've used it, how long you've used it, all of that stuff, in case anybody ever has any, within that 30 days and tries to, claim it. After that, it's yours. After that, it is 100% yours, and you can do anything that you want with it, within the regulations. Sell it, keep it, use it. And it's kind of a good feeling.
It does. It's like, well, it does. If you were, we're trying to teach women, right, how to be the CEO of their own business in their own world, and this is something that can be an asset protector as well, right? And then you get to use the little TM if you choose to. But if you are a coach, or you want to have a course, or you have a system, or you want to write anything, I mean, anything that comes out of this brain could be intellectual property. An example of how it doesn't work is if you're an employee for somebody, you're getting paid to do that.
Yes.
One of my former agents, when I lived in another state, I believe it was her father, invented like Kevlar, right? But he worked for DuPont or whomever invented it. So it became the property of that person.
Yeah.
So if you're an employee, you lose all of those rights typically, because that's why they're paying you, is to create and invent. You being a technical writer, right? The Navy owned it because you
Correct.
were an employee of the Navy.
Correct, correct. I
Mhm.
think we have an opportunity here, though, ladies, to do a lot of looking back at what we've done, because a lot of times we don't realize what we've created can be worth something. And like we're saying, may not be worth a whole lot right now, but if you start licensing the classes, licensing your name, expanding whatever it is you do, to have that little, and there's a difference between using that little circle TM or using the little circle R, right? The little circle R means you're registered, that's done. The little TM means you're in the process. You can still use it. You're protecting that property. But once you get that little circle R, it's really, really cool because it makes you feel
It's
really
true.
happy.
Just like when you see patent pending versus fully
Yes,
registered,
yes,
right?
yes.
That is very, very similar. Um, where how I know to trademark something is if I have an idea, and God knows I have a world of idea. I own hundreds of domain names, I think, and just it's crazy. Is if it sticks in my gut for after a year and it still excites me. Like that's when I know, like, oh, this is an idea. And this is where women's intuition and trusting your gut is so very important, because if I have an idea and it keeps coming back up and I keep having a very positive energy around it, I'm like, this might be something. I'm going to believe me, and what's the harm in trademarking? Because it's a couple $100, right? Or
It's
whatever the
350.
cost.
Yeah, 350. It's
Okay.
very minimal.
The scariest thing for me was when the government attorney does call you to do an interview, and it's like a 4-minute call and it's like procedural, but that was really nothing. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? The trademark police going to come get you? No.
Yeah, they just ask you very simple questions to make sure, and they're on your site. I mean, they really, I mean, they make probably 100 calls a day, right? They just kind of call you and go, yeah, this or that or the other. It's pretty easy. Now, I have to tell you something that my attorney told me. So this is going to be kind of mind blowing for some people because I didn't realize it. Going back to protecting your assets, you should own your trademark in your business name, in your LLC. Grace Schiffman should not own anything, because if anything were to happen while someone's conducting a class or using that name that we trademarked, they're going to come back against Grace Schiffman. But if you have it in your LLC, that asset once again is protected directly by that LLC. So keep that in mind also when you file. And you can file under your own name and then correct it later, right? Because that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
But that is, there you go. That's your $2,000 freebie
Legal.
answer for today.
Well, okay, so let's say this. I have a brand name. Let's say it's the Messy Empire, just to use for the example. I'm like, I like this idea. Yes, that's me. It's authentically me. The first thing I'm going to do is go buy the domain name. That's just typical. Well, first I'm going to do a trademark search on the website. I'm not going to do anything with it yet. Then I'm going to buy the domain name, right? Then I'm going to file my LLC and start establishing my LLC with that, and then trademark it under that LLC. So there's an order which we're trying to teach that's layered to make sure we're covering all the bases.
Correct. Correct. And like I said, I've made that mistake. Karen made a couple mistakes, but I know that I did. So just remember that. I mean, the very best thing that we can do with all of the things that we earn, everything that we learn, everything that we put on paper, everything that comes out of our minds is protect it. And it's up to us to protect it because nobody else is going to. So remember that as you go through this, you know, LLC, GoDaddy, Trademark, all of that stuff is going to help you build this incredible business that is untouchable by anybody else other than you or whoever you want.
Yeah, and they might try to use it, but also you can do searches and get notified or have an attorney who can also be conscious of that. Might be running Google searches. I run Google search automatic searches under my trademark. So there's a Google alert every time I see it get used, right? And that's an easy systematic way to protect your brand.
Oh, that's smart, Karen. I did not think of that. Google search our trademarks. That's good.
Yeah, do a Google alert with, and when, by the way, everybody, this is going to save you $2 million in a lifetime. When you do any sort of search, you put it in quotes so it stays together, right? So if it's, so then I don't type in the Messy Empire and then I get Google searches for Messy and Empire separately. When you put things in quotes, it'll stay together. So if you do a Google alert with the Messy Empire in quotes, then anything that will come together with that. You should be doing that with your name, with your organization. Like I do Google alerts for people that I want to track, follow. Just think about it, just like watching it on a live feed of anything, but getting those searches. But that's how you protect your brand and your reputation as well.
Yeah, that's very good, Karen. Well, gosh, I just learned something really big too. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, is it the Google search or is it that use the Google alerts?
The Google
Yeah.
alerts, because I did not think of that, but you're right. I think, and part of it, like Karen said, part of the reason we do this is if someone else is using it, we need to go ahead and send a letter of, cease, what do they call it, Karen?
Cease
When
and
you,
desist.
yes,
Cease and desist. Yeah.
yeah,
I've
cease,
gotten a few and
yeah,
I've sent them.
yeah, you have sent him on our behalf, actually. So, the one thing I can tell you about trademarking is, it's important, but you also have to be kind of very aware that we don't trademark. I'm going to tell you the don'ts, right? Don't trademark anything that is common usage. Don't try to do that because you're going to waste your $350. Don't trademark anything that has an American flag or any kind of flag, because that's not something you can trademark. Common phrases, don't do it, but anything that you've thought of that you're using for your business that is a great slogan that identifies you, that you can teach a class around, please go ahead and take that extra step and just go ahead and trademark. And like I said, we've been able to do it. It's 350, but you can also get an attorney. from the very beginning, and that's going to be, between $1,800 and $2,000, or use the website that Karen gave us. And how much is that through the website?
Well, here's what we're going to do. When people subscribe to our newsletter, we're going to put all the information in there. I don't remember, but it's less than an attorney and better for me. This is where you and I are fundamentally opposite in a lot of ways. I don't like doing paperwork. I don't like dotting my I's. I don't love crossing my T's. I don't. So I will hire an online service to do it for me. And I use the Trademark company, which there'll be a discount code in there, I believe, as well. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you will get the information. But I want to make a challenge to all the women out there that have had a great idea for so many years, or created a real estate slogan, or any industry logo, slogan, anything like that, that they start the process by end of first quarter 2026. I would love to see us take control of our future and work on it together, that we can all work to trademark something by the end of first quarter 2026.
That is a great challenge. I'm in. I'm
Well,
going to trademark something else.
okay, let's go create another business and then we'll get it trademarked. But it's also, sometimes people do search for great trademarks. Grace, you just did something, when I was up showing the Messy Empire trademark, you're like, oh wait, that one's abandoned. Like maybe that could also fuel some ideas for you to realize that your idea is also valid.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, we can't wait for the next episode. What's the next webinar that we're going to be doing, Karen Prawl?
Well, we have such a library of topics to go through, but we're teaching people how to own a business, run a business, create the foundation on a business. And so our next topic is going to be purchasing your first investment property.
That is so exciting. I love that. I just, one of the biggest things I think we can do for our community is teach everybody how to create that wealth, right? That owning your first property is so exciting. So I can't wait until next week.
Not as scary as people think. And Grace, you have such a great rule. We're not going to share it today. We're going to save it for next week, on a way to quick measure, like, should I purchase this? Because if you're in real estate, you should own real estate. Be authentic, walk the walk, talk the talk, right? Be a landlord, understand it. And you have some great tips for us next week. So
I
we will
do. I
see you.
do. I'm excited. Mwah! I can't wait to see
All right. I'll
everybody.
see you next week. Bye, everybody.